Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David, as we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. He is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down. Eternal life. That's what's promised to the elect. All right, all Israel, but it starts with the elect. And that's how the earth will be governed by immortals, perfect angelic forces who are going to come down and rule on earth. Extraterrestrial bodies will be able to do things that humans do, but in heavenly bodies, like eating, drinking. Did not Yahweh Shai say he's going to drink wine with us in the kingdom? Well, how do you drink wine with a spiritual body? Well, we're going to have out of this world capabilities in those new bodies.
Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
You got some corn.
All right. First and foremost, we like y'all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the double unsurpassed GMS. Citation to your brother, push your word of the truth and sincere for corners. With GMS Mississippi Camp. I'm gonna let the brothers take over.
Con, hey, heavy times, you know, get straight into it. And you see the title, all right, because you look at what's happening, you know, and playing out in the earth. You know, we're in the midst of a global collapse. You know, the Lord has set it up, you know, and fortunately, devils to go with their move, all right, because before they can introduce the Motb, well, it has to be a collapse. Okay, they had to completely collapse this old system to introduce a new one to the world. All right, and they have an avenue to do that. Okay, with what the narrative of this energy crisis. All right, this oil shock. Okay, that they've been pushing. You know, you got rumors of gas stations, so-called, running out of gas. All right, which at the end of the day, if they just eventually shut the pumps off under the guise of preserving energy, which we know these devils need a lot of energy for these data centers. Because one thing it ain't stopping is the building of these data centers. Okay, now you might can't drive to work, okay, but them trucks gonna be driving to them data centers, building them data centers, man. That's how you know that these devils, okay, are fabricating, you know, a crisis, especially here in America, okay, to bring about this new world order. But that's beautiful because we need a global collapse. All right. We need the devil to push the Motb, and we need World War III to go nuclear, man. And we out of here, man. You know, and may we be passed over in the judgment that Yahweh Shai is coming back with. Okay, so let's get a couple of precepts. We got a couple of videos, and Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified. You know, you brothers want to jump in. You brothers had anything to say before we get the first precept? Any brother want to add? I say, our brother jump in, whatever would have come in a precept. Uh, but you got it, bro.
Con, can y'all hear me good?
Come, bro.
Con, this is book of Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
Yeah, we know Satan. All right, well, you know Esau, Edom, he's possessed by Satan. You know, Esau runs the earth, okay, possessed by the spiritual demon Satan. He's influenced, you know, just as we're on the right hand side are influenced by Yahweh on the left hand side, he's influenced by Satan. That's how he runs the earth, man. Okay, and he's completely contrary to righteousness, man. And we're not ignorant how the devil gets down. You know, we know that these bankers, they manipulate, all right, these events to happen. Even if things don't go perfectly how they want it to go, they still manipulate these events to try to manufacture the outcome that they want. Okay, and the difference with this war, all right, than the first two wars is that this war, all right, is going to work against the devil at the end. Okay, it's not going to be with him. You know, the Lord's going to allow him to continue to get particular things done, okay, and manipulate the events to cause, you know, global collapse and, you know, distress, all right, and desperation in the earth, so he can bring about a solution, man, the order out of chaos, man. All right, and we know the global collapse is going to be the chaos manufactured by the devil to bring about the Motb, you know, and we can comfortably say this because it's written in the scriptures, man. He can't do nothing else but this. Okay, what you got, bro? You can get Matthew 16:1,
Con.
and
This is
then
book
we'll
of Matthew.
segue to that first video.
Con. This is book of Matthew chapter 16, verse 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting desired him that we would show them a sign from heaven. It's
Yeah, go
like that
ahead.
he would show them a sign from heaven.
Yeah, go
Verse
ahead.
2. He answered and said unto them, this is Yahweh Shai, when it is evening, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?
Yeah, so Yahweh Shai, you know, he's doing the analogy how these Pharisees they're able to, you know, in general, because Jake was, you know, you go into our culture, it was an agrarian culture where we survive off agriculture. Okay, so you would be familiar with the signs dealing with weather. So Yahweh Shai is like, look, y'all know the signs of the time, but y'all don't know, all right, the sign is right before you. And he was the sign, Yahweh Shai, which the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, man. So here it is, they're looking at prophecy and they're still asking for a sign from the heavens. And Yahweh Shai was right before them, man. And as we see all these events happen in real time, this is the sign. You know, Jake wants some, you know, majestical, all right, prolific, you know, mystic sign, some type of, you know, magic, you know, like, nah, man, the sign in this time is the prophets. Yahweh Shai, he was the sign of his times. And now the prophets have been raised up, and that's the sign. And the things that the prophets are saying are coming to pass, that's the sign. You know? So if the Lord ain't got the spirit on people to pick up on what times we in, the Lord not dealing, man. All right. But the spiritual man are gonna be into spiritual things and understand very well the times that we are in, man. With all these things happening exactly as the scripture said they will happen, man. All these alliances lining up just like the Lord said they will happen, man. Or Iran being the wild boar coming forth with great power, those Carmanians, man. That's happening. It's happening right now. You know, the nigga might be on the 100 wave. You see, the niggas started their first wave and they ain't look back, man. Because why? They have a role in prophecy, man. Okay, we seeing other nations getting involved. Why? Because they all have their roles in prophecy, man. These things must be. Okay. So yeah, we can segue to the first video. Any brother had anything in comment in the precepts?
Con,
You got it. Be a
can you give
precept
me
for the brother.
Matthew? Can you give me Matthew chapter 11, verse 8?
Yeah, these some beautiful times, man.
Come on, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 8. It says, this is how Shah speaking. But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft remnant. Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses.
Continue.
Come on, verse 9. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet. Yet I say unto you, and more than a prophet, for this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send you a messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee.
Con, and these people, as y'all said, they're looking for some miraculous sign, just some extreme overboard sign. Nah, the Lord told you what was gonna happen. He gave you his prophecies, but because it's not happening in some kind of angelic form, y'all don't believe it. You know, he got his prophets on the highways and hedges. He got these prophecies going off. You know, but they're looking for something miraculous. You know, but nah, you gonna have what earthly men on these planets like you and I, preaching and teaching the words of Yahweh Shema Shah, what is gonna come to pass, as it is coming to pass, and that's gonna be your sign. But they're looking for something completely different.
Come on, bro. And the brother had something else before we segue to the video.
Yeah, I got something to say, bros. And basically,
Oh, you got
bro, and another thing too, they just see us like we insignificant. We didn't go, we ain't I don't know the right word. We ain't I
we
don't
ain't
know.
learned men. We ain't got the
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah. Kind of, and they just see us like we just talking, all right. But they had no idea what's about to come down the pipe. And I got a quick precept though. It's Sirach 13:23,
The brother give for
22.
you,
I mean
bro.
23.
Yeah, the brother give for you. And yeah, so you can tap in.
You said Sirach. Which one?
13-23.
Come.
Yeah. Because while people looking for that sign, these prophecies are steady happening, And Jake, like I said, Jake just feels some type of way because of the men that it's coming from, because
Come.
the Israelite man, Esau has made the Israelite man to be a joke, inferior, so people look at us, with this uh going into prophecy, like we're not even worthy to speak of anything worth talking about, man. But you
Come.
got it, bro.
Come. This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look for what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speaketh, they say, what fellow is this? For slacking, and if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
She come. That's right. Like a rich man. Now if they seen Jay-Z or 50 Cent, T.I., whoever that known, people would pay attention to them. Like when Jay-Z came out, Jay-Z with the nigga, Kanye West say we said, but people will pay attention to him. But soon we say
Mhm.
something, and like we don't know what the fuck we talking about. Y'all just wearing dresses. Y'all just this, y'all that because we not known in this world like them. like the rappers or whatever. Now, soon as said, people take, oh yeah, they gotta be right. So I guess we wrong, but even though we right though, but they don't know, they don't have the truth anyway, but we do. The all praise go to Yahweh Shah. All right, but that's all I got, bro.
Come on, bro. You cue up that first video, bro, and then we'll get back into some precepts. So yeah, so what we're getting ready to see, these devils, they're gonna have to run with the narrative, of an energy crisis. So prepare to hear about, shortages, prepare to hear about, inflation, okay? And more than likely it's gonna start in these other countries, first, they're gonna be in straits, before America. All right. Then it's gonna work its way to America where it's gonna be the worst, man. Okay, and it's all set up through Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. All right. Now exactly, what part the elites have in, each, step, and how things are playing out. Well, these niggas in the background manipulating things, okay, and trying to squeeze a new world order out this situation, man. Okay. So the global collapse is their pathway to the MOTB, So you got it, bro.
The war in Iran has caused a lot of damage already, but it might worry some people to understand that it might cause quite a bit more. What we've heard from oil industry executives and analysts is that we're in a narrow and closing window to stop the damage from the war in Iran from getting significantly worse. Sometime in early to mid-April, a number of stopgap measures that the US and others have put in place will simply run out.
Countries that don't have the fuel are already in the process of rationing it, and the rest of us are going to have to get there very soon once that ticking clock runs out.
So this isn't the first time the world has gone through a big oil crisis. We did this in the 1970s, the Arab oil embargo. And after that, the countries of the world and the United States got together and said, hey, we got to stop this. And one of the things that they did was agree to keep stockpiles of oil. And the United States and other countries around the world have responded to this oil crisis by saying we are going to release 400 million barrels of oil from these strategic petroleum reserves. That's the biggest release ever. By mid-April, we'll have a moment when measures like strategic petroleum reserve releases just won't be able to keep up with the deficit in oil production. If you think about the math, the Strait of Hormuz normally carries 20 million barrels a day of oil. If that's shut down, it doesn't take you very long to add up to 400 million barrels of oil. Something that could make the effects of this war worse is that Iran has been attacking not just ships trying to get through the Strait of Hormuz, but its neighbors and their ability to produce energy. These things are adding up. The shut-in production and the damage to facilities. There are estimates that this could be as much as 10 million barrels a day of oil offline as a result of the crisis. And that won't snap back if the Strait of Hormuz reopens quickly. The Trump administration says that it has a plan to get oil flowing again. They've taken a lot of steps to get oil onto the market, releasing oil from the strategic petroleum reserves, for instance, and that really has helped blunt the damage, at least to the US economy. So we do see energy markets reflecting some of that point of view for now. And it is entirely possible that the US military and Israel could simply force an end to this war soon, and that these problems will diminish as a result. If you look out at the financial markets, including the energy markets, you might not see that much worry. We saw the price of oil shoot up after the war started, but it's been relatively stable at about 110 barrels for the price of Brent. Similarly, the stock market, down about 6% since the start of the war, which is a hit, but it was up, way, way, way up before the war started. What's happening is that those financial markets are incorporating a lot of optimistic scenarios that we're going to learn in the next couple of weeks whether these can really come true or not. If the Strait of Hormuz doesn't get opened within the next couple of weeks, we will see likely the stock market fall significantly. Similarly, we could see the price of oil spike.
Yeah, and real quick, and you can go ahead and cue the next video up. did the brother have a precept before we because we're getting ready to see, all right, if this thing stays closed, okay, is that the devil, because he's already telegraphing and throwing out, within a month's time, this country gonna run out and this country, so just like the C-19, going back to we're not ignorant of Satan devices, the devil, he's gonna constantly, when you see this devil repeating the same thing, then he already got some, all right, in the plate. All right, he already got something in the works, man. So you're hearing these stories about uh fuel shortages. People, are being told to stay at home. You got certain countries, all right, that their gas stations, are shutting down. Okay, you got certain airlines that's not flying. So we're seeing these things happen already, and this thing is just gonna continue into crisis mode because Esau got to roll it out. Well, first he got to seal it, man. So you're gonna see this devil, continue with this repetitive news reporting, about how bad it is here, how bad it is there, how bad it is here. Okay, and then eventually he gonna come on with the global collapse, man. Okay, then plus with the cyber attacks, you got to factor that in. You got to factor in the false flags. Okay, so there's a lot that can happen in a short time to put the earth in crisis mode, man. Okay, and these devils have a short window to go with their move. Okay, but any brother had a precept?
I had just a little comment, man, because
No, you
you
got it,
talk
bro.
about oil shortages, right? But this the same devil that
Yep.
who told people that the levees gave during Katrina. The same devil that said that planes brought down the world trade. The same devil that just constantly sending out lies, man. So I read this article. Well, I not read this article. I brought up ChatGPT. I asked it when was oil first struck in America, and it said the first successful commercial oil strike in the United States is widely credited to 1859. Okay, it was drilled by Edwin Drake, location Tuttlesville, Pennsylvania, dated August 27th, 1859. And the reason I brought that out, man, so America struck oil, what is credited to 1859 for its first successful oil strike. Texas is known for oil. They deal with oil with other countries, man. They got all kind of oil refineries again in Texas. So how is that? It's a fuel shortage, man. But this is the devil. All he got to do, like the Katrina deal, that took effort, man. They had to orchestrate some things to actually make it happen. The Twin Towers, they had to put effort in to make it happen. But when it comes to this oil shortage, all they got to do is put on their media and say it, man. So you can't believe this devil when he tell you things, man. There's no oil shortage. There's no fuel shortage. They are just playing their role, doing what they got to do to collapse the economy, to put people in straits. And people are just believing because this devil is saying it. But like it goes into John, is it the 44th chapter, that he's a liar and the father of it. You can't believe what this devil tell you, man. Yeah. If he tell you to go left, you best go right. You can't believe it, man. There's no way in the hell that there's a fuel shortage if they have struck oils in 1859. If they've been pumping the earth ever since, man. That's why the earth is mourning. They would not give the earth a break, man. They don't respect the land, Sabbath, or nothing, man. So this devil is continually lying and telling people that there's no fuel, and people really believe him. This nigga just not giving it up. That's the only thing, because he's hoarding it all for whatever he needed for. But that's all I got, bro.
Come on, bro. Come on. That's St. John chapter 8, verse 44, I believe you're talking about, bro. You want to get there for the brother. Okay, cool.
I got it already up for you, bro.
You got it, bro.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
And that's pertaining to Israelites right there, man. These niggas who have sold out. Even, you know, like when it comes to these news broadcasters, these politicians, you know, they push their propaganda for Esau Edom, man. They just jump on board to whatever it is to collect funds or to have this pinnacle or this position to be put in to push his lies and deceit, man. Because, you know, they're doing the bidding of Satan, man. The devil, Esau Edom. So they are just like their father, the devil, man. You got it, bro.
I had myself muted. Lock it. He was a murderer from the beginning, and
okay,
not in the truth.
See, that's right there is important too, man, because he was a murderer from the beginning. Okay, we know that Cain slayed Abel, man. That was the first murder reported or documented in the scriptures, man. So this nigga has always had a death, the murderous mentality, you know, especially when his back is against the wall. So all the propaganda, all the lies, all the deceit, you know, oil crisis, food crisis, you know what I'm saying? All these things at some point or another is going to lead to an abundance of death, man. You know, people panic when they can't get certain things. People begin to get in a chaotic mindset when they can't get essential needs, man. You know, and there's gonna be a lot of people gonna lose their shit just because of the fact they can't get no gas, man. Because Americans are used to receiving benefits of comfort, man, and being able to do this and do that. But when people can't actually get petrol to be able to drive their vehicle, then they're gonna take it to another level, man, just to try to obtain gas, man. People will rob the fuck out of you and put you down just to try to get some gas, man. That's how simple-minded and delusional and easily deceived people are, man. Like the brother brought out earlier, we're not ignorant of Satan devices, man, but a lot of people in the world are completely ignorant to the devices of Satan, man, and they fall for the okie doke. You got it, bro.
If I may, we saw that when people were dressing up like ICE, you know, stealing people groceries and shit, you know. It says, and though not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
So there's no truth in him. You know, there's no truth in him, and he's a liar and the father of it. You know, so when he's speaking, he speaks with that forked tongue. The scripture goes into that, man. You know, so that's why the Lord has sent forth the prophets to warn about, you know, the enemy, especially, man. But a lot of people or people in the world in general don't know who the enemy is, man. And the enemy is Esau Edom, and when he speaketh the lie, because he's the father of lies, man. Scripture said, "Trust not thine enemy." Well, the enemy is Esau. But if you don't know that, you're gonna believe his propaganda. You're gonna believe there's a food shortage. You're gonna believe that the jab is what you gotta have. You're gonna believe that there's a shortage of petrol. You're gonna believe that these niggas, America's winning the war, man. You're gonna believe all this shit because you don't understand that this is a liar and the father of it, man, and he's not to be trusted. But you know, at the end of the day, it's beautiful, man, because it's prophecy. Because the Lord has already told us the MO of this guy, man. But if you don't have any root with Yahweh Shem Yahushua and this truth, man, you're gonna fall for any and everything that this devil tell you. That's it, bro.
Come on, bro. You can say what to the next video. My brother didn't have nothing.
The war that the United States and Israel launched against Iran is having a massive impact on the global economy. Every country on earth is being affected because this US-Israeli war has caused the largest oil shock in history, larger than the oil shocks of 1973 and 1979. The effects are especially pronounced in Asia, which gets the majority of its oil imports from the Persian Gulf. The Philippines has declared a national emergency, and it is now rationing energy because it does not have enough oil due to this war. Japan also imports much of its oil from the Middle East or West Asia, and this is why Tokyo has carried out the largest ever national release of oil from its reserves. Moreover, the 32 member countries of the International Energy Agency, the IEA, unanimously agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil from their emergency reserves. However, this is only a short term band aid measure. It's not a long term solution. And this is why the global price of oil only went down a little bit in response to the news of countries releasing oil from their reserves. And since then, the global oil price has continued rising because as long as this US Israeli war on Iran continues, there are going to be massive disruptions in the energy market. And given that oil is the most important commodity on earth, and it's used in many other products, and it's used in all aspects of society in order to transport food and other goods, world leaders are now warning this could cause a global recession. The head of the International Energy Agency said it very clearly. He warned that the US Israeli war on Iran has been a major, major threat to the global economy. And this war is causing not just gasoline prices to go up, but also food prices to go up because so many fertilizers and chemicals used in fertilizers come from the Persian Gulf region. And it's also likely going to lead to higher interest rates, which will lead to increases in mortgage rates and other rates on loans that are taken by average people. So this is going to hurt the poorest people the most. The war that the United States and Israel.
And if I can add, just to go into what he's saying, because you're going to have nations that's going to actually go into crisis. Like Esau manufactures and manipulates these situations, and then also you're going to have actual crisis because these nations don't have the oil reserve like America and Russia, okay, and Iran got. They have to depend on everything being imported to them. America get 95% of its oil from the Western Hemisphere. What's being affected by the Strait of Hormuz is the strength of the dollar, which they need the dollar to collapse as well to crash the whole economy. So we're going to see authentic crisis in these other nations that's going to really run out of reserves because they only got so much. And see, this is a very energy consuming society, okay, especially places like China, especially places like Japan, okay, Pakistan. They use a lot of energy, so when you completely cut off the energy, all right, or you reduce it, okay, now this energy consumption is eventually going to catch up to some of these nations. Now America, it's going to be mostly fabricated, it's going to be mostly manufactured because America, all right, it's the biggest exporter of LNG, which is what you get diesel from. So American diesel shouldn't have never went up because ultimately American oil companies are making more profit, so they should be able to sell oil in America for cheap, okay? But they're not going to do that. They're going to run with the narrative of crisis because they're gonna mimic. America gonna mimic these nations that are really that's gonna go into crisis, because some of these countries are gonna actually run out because they don't have the reserves and they depend on 60 and 50 and 70% of their oil from the Strait, and so these nations are being forced, okay, because see, these nations still at the crossroads because if they drop the dollar, it's like betraying America, and they're so used to. They know that America can destroy you with sanctions, but it's gonna get to a point where these nations are gonna be like, the hell with it, We might as well just go to war with the whore, cause see, if we ain't getting nothing, you get to the point till you get to that last, 10 million barrels, shit, you gonna have to do something. So it's a lot of moving parts, but it all leads to a global collapse, the MOTB and this Third World War. And the Lord got this thing orchestrated perfectly, man. You know, how he got it set up. But any brother had a precept?
Come on, bro.
Yeah, like the brother said, last ditch effort, man. You know, these elites got to throw their Hail Mary out the back foot. Because, see, and there's another thing, too, real quick, because they getting their teeth kicked in militarily. So the elites don't play by the same scoreboard because elites don't care about American soldiers and the small hats dying over there. Okay, because they'll sacrifice the world to try to be the most high. You know, they don't give a damn. You see, they'll sacrifice everything for this technocracy, man. You know, so while these nations are really getting at each other, all right, and America and these small hats are taking L, the elites, they still got to go with they play, you know, because their whole play is a new world order. All right, they're looking beyond the the casualties of war. They are already looking beyond that. They're looking at the economical and technocracy aspect of, you know. So they playing on a different scoreboard than the day-to-day, all right, war. But we follow day-to-day war because it's going to lead to prophecy, and this war is going to cancel out everything that the elites trying to do. But you got it, bro.
Yeah, bro. Job 5:12 and then 13.
Come on, you get there for the brother.
Got it pulled up. And I had pulled it up too for you, bro. Right now they're using, it says between 104.9 to 106.5 million barrels of oil per day.
Yep. Yep. And see, and a lot of it going to that AI. That's another thing too. The devil want to depopulate because he needs to free up as much resources that he got. He needs to free up as much resources as he can to get this AI, this whole digital public infrastructure up and rolling globally. Because he just got it up and running in certain pockets of the world. But to get this thing up globally like he wanted to, the smart cities and all, he needs a lot more energy that he can reserve for himself, you know, and for this digital infrastructure. But you got it, bro.
Bro, you said Job 5:12, Job 5:12 and 13.
Okay.
This is the book of Job chapter 5 verses 12 and 13. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands could not perform the enterprise.
Yeah, basically this is Yahweh Shah disappointing the devices of these elites, man. You know, like the brother was just getting into how their main objective is they strictly focus on the MWO. You know, they on a different, you know, like the brother used, they on a different board, man. They using they setting up things over here basically to distract what's really going on and what they're trying to basically fulfill. But again, like the precept that was brought out, I think the initial precept, how we're not ignorant of Satan devices, man. So we know what this devil, we know what his motto is. We know what he's trying to bring out, you know, bring forth in the earth. But in the scriptures, what you just brought out, and Yahweh Shemiah Shah, for one, he already set this devil up to bring this out, ultimately to bring this devil down, to interrupt this thing, man. Because ultimately, all prophecy must come to pass. And we know that this devil is trying to ultimately initiate what? The mandating of the Motb. You know, everything point towards the end prophecy. Baba Kashai, you can keep reading on that, bro.
Verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fool is carried headlong.
So yeah, how about Shemal Shah? It's a twist. Y'all about Shemal Shah is finna twist their. See what they think they finna do. How about Shemal Shah got a twist? They finna get captured in their own plots, man. But hey, the Lord is speeding this thing up, so they got to worry about, you know, this going on. But ultimately, like even the brother was going into how, like America got these reserves. All hell gonna break loose. You know, America, and even the first video you brought up is what they say they're waiting on it to hit they wait on it. You know, they rationing over there, but they wait on it to hit here, so we got to catch up. You know, so eventually, shit will catch up with America, but America got a lot of time. And brother, I think brother brought it out this past camp. What's in between these other countries in America, and you got this big C. You know, so all this shit basically, America gonna get the worst last, man. And brother's been bringing it out this past week. America's gonna be the worst place to be in, man, when all this shit hit the fan, man, because America's set up for the worst events possible, man.
I got a precept for you, bro. You said that basically the Lord gonna add a twist to it, going back into the word. The Lord, his words are gonna go out, and it's going to accomplish, you know, exactly what the Lord has set out for it to happen. Going into these prophecies. This is Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it.
And one of the things is, we just brought it out, how the Lord going to interrupt the enterprise they're just trying to set up. This NWO won't take full effect. You know, the Lord. See, the thing about it, again, you wrote the devil. This devil, he's trying to presume himself as the Most High. Yahweh Shemel Shai is gonna rain down on that, man. You know, he won't be able to establish himself like that. For one, he's been deceived, man. These devils are being deceived because ultimately, what prophecy must take place, you know. And I mean, what the hell can they do? Again, the king's heart is in the mind of the Lord. I mean, it's like the mind of the kings are in the hand of the Lord, and he drive these devils whatsoever he will. So he's driving these devils to basically, he driving them in their pride. He driving these devils to be boastful and full of pride, man. To where they thinking they finna do what they got their mind set on, man. And what's that? To fulfill their enterprise as what? Those like they're the Most High, for one. But the Lord, again, they're gonna fall into their own that twist, you know, that cunning hunter Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yahweh Shemel Shai is on his ass, man, with prophecy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this devil, he can't escape.
Come on, bro. Come on. Any other brother got something?
Come
You got it, bro. So y'all
Can't give me
rock out, man.
Can't give me Job chapter 20 verse 23.
Come on, for sure. You said Job 23. Go on, this is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 3. I have
23.
heard. You said 20 and 23?
Come
on, Shalaki, bro. This is Job chapter 20, verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and it shall rain upon him while he is eating.
Come. So once this devil think he has his way, once he think he can finally sit down, the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shai, is gonna intervene. Well, he's already intervening, but he's gonna snatch the chair from under this man. Like the brother Yah was saying, this hunter is about to fall into his own trap. You know, everything he's setting up is about to be used against him. Because it is not for this man to win. It is not for this man to set off that trap. Just like these thermonuclear weapons, the Most High gave him the idea to create it. But once he created it into the earth, just guess what? Everybody else has it now, and what is going to be used against him? You know, everything is against him. All cards, all pieces are against him, and he sees it. You know, but he still believes that he's going to win, that he's going to somehow come up the victor. But it's not, because what? It is not written for him to win.
Mm-hmm.
I got one.
If I can add, if I can add to what you're saying, bro, and that's how you know it's a spirit, you know, that we in the time of the feast of unleavened bread coming out the Passover, and we're seeing Esau harden like Pharaoh. You know, we talked about it before how you would read the book of Exodus and you be like, man, Pharaoh tripping. But we get to see Esau in the spirit real time. Like everything this nigga doing, they like, bro, he tripping. Like this nigga is every mission, every idea that this nigga got is backfiring on him, but this nigga won't stop. You know, like every next move, every move he make is backfiring on him, but he still gotta go on to the next, man, because the Lord got a spirit on this nigga to do what he gotta do, man, and that's to bring about this global collapse, this MOTB, and which is gonna trigger this war to go nuclear and usher in Yahweh Shai. Esau, he's hardened to do that no matter how bad this nigga losing, this nigga still gotta go with that plate, man. You know, he's hardened like Pharaoh, man, showing you that this nigga the new Pharaoh, man, that the Lord gonna break down, man. You know, you got it though, bro.
Yeah, I had one for a lot, and then one here for you, bro. Since you brought that up, this is Exodus 9 and 12. It says, "And the Lord Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord Yahweh spoke unto Moses."
Yep. Hey, so because even now, Esau got the prophets. See, back then it was just Moses and Aaron going to Pharaoh, going directly to Pharaoh. But now, as the Lord has all his prophets back at the same time, telling this nigga what's going to happen, how this going to play out. You know, so we in the stead of Moses going to Pharaoh and letting him know how his kingdom is going to fall. We letting them nigga know exactly what's going to be next, because you got to do the global collapse. Nigga, you got to do that next. We telling you your next plague, just like Moses was telling Pharaoh plague for plague. Nigga, you gonna do this next. Okay, you gonna do this next. And Esau, he gotta stick to that. There's nothing he can do because he's hard. Okay, so this nigga, he gotta come with this global collapse to bring about the MOTB. Nigga gotta do it. Okay. You jump down to 16, Bible shot, bro. Or you can add to it like you want to, Salaki, bro.
Yeah, just a quick add on, and it's according to the law, because what? After, roughly paraphrasing, after one or two admonition, you destroy it, roughly paraphrasing. You got all these prophets telling him, hey, you going off, you keep doing this, you will be destroyed. This is going to happen if you keep going down this road. And what? He's not listening. He's not listening, just like Pharaoh. So what? They got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got Trump steady giving deadlines, nigga. You losing, nigga. You don't get no deadlines, nobody. You losing. You know, it'll show you how delusional. All right, the Lord got these Edomites, man. You know, you got it, bro.
Con, this is that tell me jump down to verse 16, Exodus 9 and 16. It says, and indeed for this cause I will rise thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
Yeah, so just as the Most High raised up Pharaoh and allowed Egypt to become a superpower in the earth, he did the same thing with Esau, all right, in America, man. He allowed these elites, all right, to really establish a global empire through America, man. You see? And now what he wants to do, he wants to create a digital global empire, because the petrodollar was the currency of the old global empire. Well, now it's a digital currency, which is going to be the new currency of this devil's digital empire that he wants to establish in the earth, man. Okay, this technocracy, man. So this devil is in the midst of transitioning, okay? Yahweh Shai is going to intervene, man, to cut this man off, man, going to stop this man short, So it's just we in beautiful times, man. We in beautiful times. But that's all I had. You had something for a lot, or any other brother?
Both of y'all have spoke on it. I'll read it.
This is Joe.
Go ahead.
I'll just tell him Locke he got whatever we bring up.
Because Priest Locke going into how Esau thinking he gonna be able to sit down and be able to enjoy that meal. But the Lord gonna get him that certain point where he's not gonna get past that point. There you go, bro. This is Job 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
God, this man has an expiration date. This man kingdom, his rulership has an expiration date. The things that he can do and get off the ground has an expiration date, you know? So this man, he's limited, even though he believes he's unlimited, even though he think he can reach the heavens and all that. No, this man is limited. He's only got enough room that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has given him, you know? And he's become so bold because nothing has happened to him. Like the scripture says, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, roughly paraphrasing, because of this, he thinks, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. Nah, you're in a trick bag. The Lord has you in a slippery place for you to bust your ass because what? He has you believing in yourself. The pride of you has gone up. You believe that you can truly, truly pull this off and defeat the Most High, which is going to end in this man's downfall. You know? That's all I got.
Come on. Any other brother has something? We get the last few.
I got one real quick, just to brag up the priest a lot, because he mentioned how, this devil, he got a boundary he can't pass. Psalm 75, verse 7.
Come, this is book of Psalms, chapter 75, verse 7. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another.
And that's simply put, man. So this devil came back during the Renaissance, that was the Lord setting him up. And he done had a good run, man. But this was the last run and it's over with. Now this devil's kingdom is finna completely collapse. Again, we like brothers been going into, a few prophecies gotta come to pass. You gotta Jacob's trouble gotta be in full effect. Complete chaos gotta come to pass. Then he's gonna implement the Motb. And then it's gonna be completely all out warfare over there in Western Asia, man. But see, everything is already in play. Everything is moving, but everything just hasn't escalated and boiled over, But it's about to. And then, as it said, that he put it down once, so the Lord's finna put down this devil and his rulership, and he finna implement his rulership, which is gonna be an everlasting rulership, man. And that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're patiently waiting for. And that's why we're sighing and crying. And that's what we want, man. And we pray to Yahweh outside that we're able to continue to endure. And that when the hour of temptation comes, that we do not fall weak or weary and bow the knee. And we continue to have faith and believe in Yahweh outside and be found worthy of being part of his elect. That's it, bro.
Come on, brother. Brother has something to close out with.
I just had something real quick, bro.
Come on, we'll close out with George, bro. You got it.
Yeah, it's just second Ezra's 6 and 9, just to back up Priest Lamont, because the one about to be set up, which is gonna be profitable, man. So ain't bringing out enough, Esau's the end of the world.
Yeah, you can go into this every day, you know what I mean? Because we in the changing of world, in the transition of worlds, man. The earth was given to Esau, now it's being stripped from this nigga, man. The Lord allowing us to see the earth being stripped from Esau, man. We get to see this man like a drunk man. Okay, it's like that drunk nigga that think he tough at the bar, man. This how this nigga is staggering around the earth. Okay, like he this drunk nigga that just goddamn it got it. You see? But what happened in the morning? Wake up with them lumps, man, and that's gonna be Esau. You're gonna wake up in captivity, lumped up, man. And you gotta get explained to you what happened. Play by play, man. You got it, bro.
Bro, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6. You said verse 9, right?
All right.
This is Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Yeah, so it was already established from the beginning, man. It was already established from the beginning. The end manifests from the beginning, right? So Esau was already manifested. His end was already manifested from the beginning, man. So it ain't shit he can do really to just prolong his rulership. You know, again, going into those bounds, man. You know, so at the end of the day, he ain't gonna have no choice but to accept it, you know, and just suck it up. Like, shit, I mean, this you have been given your position in the earth, now you've been stripped. So again, you didn't profit the earth. Now you finna see how the earth is finna, or how one is finna get the earth, and it's gonna profit the earth, man. How everybody's gonna profit. All life is really gonna profit from Yahweh Shai's rulership, man, including him being done away in it. You know, because that's gonna be profitable. Esau is being taken out of the way. So imagine that shit. Everything profits because you're removed. You know, so how about Shemel Shah is just gonna put it in his devil's face like, shit, you ain't, he really ain't shit. But yeah, that's all I had, bro.
Hey, like you said, bro, you said something that always stick. And it was a title for one of the lessons we did Monday. Said, what a difference a day makes, you know? One day this nigga gonna be, you know, in his power, and one day, the next day, that nigga gonna be removed from power, man. So it's just a build up to that day, man. You know. So yeah, we with that, you know, we'll end it there. You know, pray that the lesson was edifying. You know, to you brothers, you few sisters out there. You know, so Lord will, you know, to next time we say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, Abba Ball soon, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.